Welcome to English for All channel. How are you, my student year 2? I am so happy to be with you today. Our session today will be about the story of the selfish giant. The selfish giant. But before we start our story, I want to remind you the characters of these stories. Story. The first character is the selfish giant. He is a very scary and unkind at first. Scary means frightened giant. He is selfish. We said before that selfish means that is he wants to take everything and didn't want to give any one of the children anything. And he doesn't like sharing his garden with other people. The giant doesn't like the children at the beginning of the story, but luckily he learns an important lesson and decides that he wants the children to be his friends. The giant becomes kind and generous in the end, and all the children love him. The second character is the children are cheerful and playful. They want to play and they are very lovely children at the beginning of the story, but they become sad when the giant stops them from playing in the garden. They need a place to play, but when they can't find one means a place, they are very unhappy. The third character is the little boy. The little boy is the giant's favorite child. He is smaller than the other children, so he can't climb the trees in the giant's garden. The giants help the little boy and they become friends. The giants love the little boy because he is sweet and gentle. These are the main characters, and we have another characters like what? Like all these. We have here 4 seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. This is another characters. We have hail. What's the meaning of hail? Strong wind. Frost. What's the meaning of frost? Small balls of ice. And north wind. All these are also characters of the story. Now let's start with chapter 4. The title of chapter 4 is Spring Forgets. Spring forgets. What's the meaning of forgets? It's a verb, means doesn't remember the garden. Now spring doesn't remember the garden means the spring will not come to the garden. Winter came and snow covered the village. The birds flew away to warmer countries. All the birds flew away to warmer countries. Go out from this garden because now it's very cold because winter came. So the birds flew away. The best of fly to another countries that are warm. The trees lost all their leaves. All the trees now has no leaves, and the flowers stayed hidden in the cold. No flowers and no leaves of the trees in the garden, and hard ground without water. There was frost. We said now frost, small balls of ice on the branches of the trees and on the windows again of all the houses. There was ice on the village pond and cold wind blew every day. Every day the wind came and there is cold weather. But soon spring arrived and it was time for winter to leave the village. Pretty little blossoms appeared. What is the meaning of pretty? Beautiful. Little, small blossoms. Blossoms is a small flower that fruits come out of it. Appeared on the trees, and the birds began to return. The snow and ice melted. What is the meaning of melted? Melted is the change of the case from ice into liquid, and leaves started to grow again on the trees. The flowers poked their what? Heads out of the ground, and the sun began to shine, making the village warm and bright again. But in the giant garden, it was still winter. The birds didn't want to sit. All this happened where? In all the countries, but at the garden, there is no spring, just there is a winter. The birds didn't want to sit on the branches of this tree in the garden to sing their songs because there was nobody to sing there. The trees forgot to blossom because there was nobody to eat the fruits. One little flower poked its head out of grass. Only one little flower pushed open its head to come out of the grass. But when it saw the big black letters on the giant sign, it felt sorry for the children and decided to stay in the grass after all. We see here, this is a picture that there is many balls of ice. The snow and frost were delighted. They had the giant's garden all to themselves. All the garden now are full of what? Of snows, of frost. Spring has forgotten this garden. Spring go to all the country, but didn't come to this garden. We can live here, winter said. We can live here. So the snow covered up all the soft green grass, and frost painted all the trees silver. The frost makes the color of the tree silver. Then the snow and the frost invited the cold north to come, the cold north wind to come to stay with them in the garden. The north wind came and roared. What's the meaning of roared? The sound of the wind around the garden all day. He blew the giant chimneys down, and he pulled down some of the fruit tree. He was very happy. This is the north wind. They say, this is a wonderful place. We must ask the hail to come and visit us here. So the hail came to the garden. He raced round and round. He walked round and round, growing faster every day. Then he played on the giant's roof until he broke most of the slates. What's the meaning of slates? Slates are dark gray rocks. What happened to them? The blue wind come and broke all of them. He even broke one of the giant windows, and the giant's garden was no longer beautiful because there are many balls of stones. There is hail, there is north wind, so the garden now is so bad, and the weather was very cold and terrible place. Look here, all the garden is full of the snow. Chapter number 5, Always Winter. Always winter. The giant sat at his window and looked out of his cold white garden. He was very puzzled. Puzzled means he asked himself, I can't understand why spring is so late this year. Winter has been here for month and month. Where is the sunshine? Now the giant asked himself, where is the sunshine? Where is the spring? All the year is winter? It's so bad. Where are my colorful flowers and the pretty blossoms on my trees? There is no pretty blossoms. There is no color flower. So we are now what? Where are the little birds with their sweet songs? I miss my beautiful garden now. My garden is very, very bad. I hope there will be all change in the weather soon. But there was no change in the giant's garden. Summer came to the rest of the village, all sides of the village, but didn't want to come to this garden. The sun shone brightly, and the crops in the fields grew tall in another country or another garden. The birds flew from tree to tree, the birds play from tree to tree and sing happily, but in the giant gardens the birds didn't want to sing. The snow still covers the grass, and the frost still made icy patterns on the window panes. Summer thought the giant didn't deserve any shine, so Summer didn't want to come to this garden because the giant is very selfish. The giant is too selfish. I don't want to visit this garden. Who said that? Summer says that. Why should I give him sunshine when he never lets the children play in his garden? I will not give my sunshine to this giant because he didn't give the children a place to play in his garden. Look here, this is a garden but not of the giant, of anywhere in the village. After a few months, autumn arrived in the village. Now the summer ended and autumn comes. There was ripe golden fruit, and now we see some fruit has golden color on the trees in every garden. And farmers began to harvest. What's the meaning of harvest? Collect their crops. The leaves turned golden. Now the leaves were green in the summer. Now it turned to be golden because it started to fall from the trees, making carpet. What's carpet? A big mat on the grass. But in the giant's garden, no leaves, no fruits, no sun. The hail still raised around and the north wind still would make a big noise through the trees. Autumn looked at the garden from the distance and was skeptical. What's the meaning of skeptical? Means something you have doubts about it. You are not sure. So Autumn looked at the garden from distance and was skeptical. Why should I give the giant my delicious juicy fruit? The Autumn said that I don't want to give this giant delicious juicy fruit. He never shares his fruit with other people. He doesn't deserve to have anything of this. I will not visit his garden this year. Who said that? The Autumn. So Winter stayed in the giant's garden for all the year. For all the year there was a winter. Choose the snow, the frost, the hail, and the north wind were all very happy because they were selfish like the giant. The snow, the frost, the hail are selfish like the giant, so they are very happy to stay in this garden. They didn't want to share their new garden with spring, summer, or autumn. They were having fun and they wanted to play in the giant's garden all the year round. So now spring, summer, and autumn are so selfish like these giants because they didn't want any one of them to spring, summer, autumn. All of this week are very good, but winter is so bad. Winter is so selfish like this giant. Winter didn't want these seasons like spring, summer, and autumn to come because they want to still in the garden of the giant, like the giant didn't want the children to come and play in his garden. So this is the meaning of selfish. This is the end of chapter 5. I hope you are interested in this chapter because I was very interested with you. And if you don't understand any meaning of any word, please write to me under the comments or under the video. And I hope you study it well. And see you soon. Goodbye.